Welcome back. Staying with our baseball theme, from a trip to the Little League World Series to a trip to MLB's World Series, a Moline boy knocked it out of the park. News 8's Charles Hart met the 11-year-old whose sign was a hit on social media.
A lover of the sport.
I've always been in baseball. I've been in travel leagues since I knew.
Specifically, the Philadelphia Phillies of Major League Baseball.
My uncle, he used to own the Phillies way back, and then he also had a tie somehow in the National League, I forgot. And then his dad was a National League president.
11-year-old Ethan Wren and his family went to Game 4 of the World Series and showed off this sign that read, "School is important, but Phillies baseball is importanter."
Nick Castellanos said, all I do is hit baseballs, I don't need a degree.
Nick Castellanos plays for the Phillies, and Wren's sign went viral.
Our seats were right next to the MLB cast, so a lot of the cast was taking pictures, and local reporters, they were taking pictures.
This Instagram post from Major League Baseball shows over 200,000 likes for the sign, and Ethan's mother, Amy, says Phillies baseball is in the family's blood.
Once I married into it, it became a Phillies fan. We've been to a lot of games. We've been to spring training. Been real fun, and the boys, Ethan and his brother Will, have grown up being Phillies fans.
And loves the attention Ethan is getting.
Plays that one, nobody on.
It's just fun because it's so exciting for him, and he's loved all the attention. All his friends are texting him. He's getting all these people reaching out.
Ethan and his friends love it as well.
Yeah, I've been jealous because I got to stay in school all week and I've been gone.
Supporting the game he loves.
1, 2, 3, 4, go!
And Charles Hart joins us now. Charles, thanks for taking the time today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I want to chat about first, how did we find out about this? Because by the time we sort of picked up on the story, as you showed in your story, there was hundreds of thousands of likes.
Yes, no, so actually Major League Baseball was actually the social media platform that posted the sign in the first place, along with other people that were at World Series, and Ethan was at Game 4 and 5 with his family, and he had a sign that said, school is important, but Phillies baseball is importanter. And so, who can't think that's just a little funny, So that really stood out to me, and of course stood out to the more than 280,000 likes that the post received. So.
Right. There was, in your story, you talked about how there was a player that sort of inspired him, that kind of was the inspiration for the sign a little bit. But how did that, what the player had said, turn into what ended up being a really funny sign?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was Nick Castellanos was the player who currently plays for the Phillies, and he said, all I do is hit baseballs. I don't need a degree. And so Ethan, definitely took that to heart. And well, of course, he probably cares about his education. I know he was telling me how he was a good student. His mom was telling me the same thing. But apparently that really stuck with him, and that also really stuck with me because it's such a simple quote, but it means so much. And it's the same with the sign. And so that definitely turned into inspiration, for myself in doing this story, because I was like, oh, that's a really cool, thing to think about. How important baseball was to him, and how important it will be going forward.
Did you ask him or his mom about the reaction that his teachers had? Did we get a sense at all if they were on board with it or were laughing along with it?
Right. Of course, the teachers, I was told that the teachers did give their blessing so that he could miss school.
That's important, yeah.
Because you got to go to Philadelphia. It's not an easy drive. So no, Amy Wren, his mother, did tell me that the teachers did give their blessing, and I haven't heard anything yet on their reaction to the sign or anything. But I sure hope that they're on board with it. So.
Going to the World Series is a huge deal. There's a different type of energy there, and so for him, for a young man to be there, I'm sure, obviously, as we saw, was super amazing, but then he goes viral. What was kind of the big takeaway for him after all was said and done?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And, of course, after something big like that happening, you kind of come back to reality and you're like, oh, wow, that really all just happened. And for, being as young as Ethan is, he was really calm about it, actually, when I was talking to him in the interview. And I definitely commend him for that because, when you bring put a camera in a kid's face, it could be a little nerve-wracking. But he was, really cool in talking to me. And the takeaway for him definitely was how much he's going to love baseball forever. you know, he told me he wants to be a Phillies baseball player.
Right.
When he grows up, he wants to keep playing baseball throughout high school. And, you know, and I really hope he does, because I think he's definitely a kid that deserves it. And with all the attention he got from this, he truly is a humble young man. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know what's cool is that, you know, hopefully he does have a long baseball journey wherever that takes him, whether that's, you know, professional level baseball or elsewhere. This is going to be just a huge part of his baseball journey.
Absolutely. I hope, you know, not that I hope, I know he'll never forget it. I don't think I will either.
Right.
You know, with how new I am to this job and getting a chance to do this story so quickly, it just really gave me an insight into his family's life and their love for baseball. I mean, even the mother told me that, you know, she became a Phillies fan when she married into the family, and that's what that's a lot of, you know, their life has been sports and has been baseball. And so, yeah.
Well, very nice. A great story, certainly fun, and it's always fun when it's, you know, someone who's, you know, right in our own backyard.
Absolutely.
Artie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Charles, thanks for taking the time today.
Of course, John, thank you.
Uh-huh.